Welcome to the Brash Sports Podcast, brought to you by the Little Pocket in Your Jeans. Originally invented to hold pocket watches, this fun little pocket is a great place to stash keys, some spare change, or even a small bag of drugs. Why do clothing companies still make jeans with the little pocket when pocket watches are irrelevant? Nobody knows. Don't question it, you stupid little bitch. Next time you need a hiding spot on the front of your body for something tiny, you'll be thankful it's there. And when you do, be sure to use promo code BrashSportsPodcast with Josh and Brandon !20 to save 20%. The little pocket in your jeans. Don't question it, you stupid little bitch. What is up, everybody? My name's Josh. I'm joined by my best friend, Brandon. We got some shit to get into. What's going on, dude?
That's outrageous, man. I'll tell you, those promos are getting quite aggressive.
Dude, they're getting so aggressive. And, like, I keep getting emails from Cindy in HR, but I don't write them. Fucking Anderson writes them and gives them to me. Like, I'm just doing what I'm told.
Hey, we do what the people who pay the bills tell us to do. So,
damn right.
If it's the tiny pocket in the jeans, it's the tiny pocket in the jeans. If it's dogs, it's dogs. I mean,
it's dogs.
If it's bag fries, it's bag fries. But,
Yes, but Cindy just needs to understand that.
Cindy, you've tested Cindy for the first time. We reached a milestone here at Brash Sports for the first time ever. I heard you were actually called in to Cindy's office at HR. And it was actually due to a little mishap you had at the end of last week's episode regarding a comment of raw women. And, she did not take kindly to that comment one bit. I mean, you can decipher it any way you want, but it turns out she deciphered it the worst way humanly possible. So no more comments regarding raw women will be heard on Brash Sports.
Yeah, I mean...
There's Cindy's demands.
I kind of want to move past it so I don't get in trouble again, because I'm probably going to hear about it for this little pocket in the jeans comment that I didn't even write. But, Cindy's great. We love her. We couldn't do this without her. We need a good, solid HR person, and she's our gal. So,
we need the whole
you
team.
Take one on the chin.
We need Brian in accounting. We need Cindy at HR. And, of course, where would we be without our producer, Mr. Anderson himself?
God bless him. So, all right, Brandon, we got some shit to get into today. I want to recap NBA All-Star Weekend because I made some pretty bold proclamations going into it, and they did not deliver. So I was dead wrong about just about everything. The Rising Stars game was lackluster at best because in years past, I felt like they played more defense. This year, it was more like an all-star game where they were just shooting around. When I want to see those guys out there hungry, trying to make a name for themselves, play some defense, boys. And then the dunk contest was probably the worst in history.
After we were talking it up, and you don't know what you're missing out on, Brandon. You haven't watched the dunk contest in a while. Nah, take a break from it.
My pick, Jalen Green. Barely got a dunk in the first round. He was trying this like off the side of the backboard, between the legs, crazy shit, and missed like 10 times in a row. And that was the theme for the night. Now, I didn't watch it live because I told you it was at a poker game. And when I show up at the dude's house and I'm like, hey, do you care if we throw the all-star stuff on, like 3-point contest, dunk contest? He's like, oh, my TV just broke yesterday. And I was like, oh, sweet. So I didn't get to watch any of it live, but I've seen the highlights. I bet on Jalen Green. He sucked. He had a better performance dunk-wise in the rookie game. So just all around disappointment. Not even worth going to YouTube and watching the highlights. There was nothing new. But I think, like we said, they're going to run out of things to do. There's only so many ways you can dunk a basketball, right? Short of rolling in a choir and a Kia. Like, there's just only so many things you can do. So, I don't know, get some trampolines or something? That'd be pretty sick.
Oh, nice. I like that. You just came up with that on the fly? I like that on the fly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was a big fan of slam ball. I was a season ticket holder to every slam ball game. That was for the Washington team back in the day. That's definitely not true.
No,
of course not. Of course
you had me going. You had me going. I'm like, how the hell did I miss out on that?
Dude, I would love to be a season ticket holder for Slam Ball. Slam Ball was fucking sick.
Oh, I know about slam ball, but when you got me thinking there was
Oh,
really a professional team out there, representing DC, and I got pretty excited about it, to be honest
I
with you.
I couldn't tell you the name of the teams. I just watched it recreationally. It was on ESPN 17 or whatever. It was so good though. God, man, what a concept. And it's so dangerous too. Like those guys have had to be there had to have been so many broken legs and ankles and wrists. Had to be.
Well,
Um
you did better than me when it came to doing our homework for the All Star game. I backed out on my word, and I didn't watch any of it, and I also
Beauty.
didn't watch any highlights. So I completely relied on your report on how everything went. I heard some people's opinions about the dunk contest, so I heard that was extremely disappointing. Of
So
course,
disappointing.
and my weekend kind of got thrown for a loop. Of course, I went to my brother's like I told you I was going to do to watch the WWE Elimination Chamber, and I got there to watch early enough to watch the City game. And once City lost to Tottenham, I was out. The whole day got away from me after that. And then we found out that the show that I was there to watch in the first place later that evening was actually in Saudi Arabia. So it had
What?
started like an hour before. Yeah. So we had missed a whole hour of
What?
it.
Oh
So
my god.
by the time our dumbasses tuned in, it was pretty much over. I mean, we got to see the main event, but neither here nor there. I didn't watch anything NBA related over the weekend, nor have I watched anything NBA up until today.
Dude,
So
you know what came across my feed the other day was the Hell in a Cell with Undertaker and Mankind, where he
oh,
threw him off the top.
oh yeah,
Dude, that still just gives me chill. By God, he's dead. He split him in half. Dude, that is the
yeah.
gnarliest
If
thing I've ever seen.
if that were you or I, we would be dead. The only person that
Yeah,
could survive that is Mick Foley or Shane O'Mac. Those are the two
Cactus Jack.
people. No,
Dude,
no, it was actually Mankind.
it
Excuse
was
me.
Mankind, yeah. Yeah, and then he throws him through the fucking thing onto the ring. Dude, they don't build him like they used to, man.
Hey, shout out to Undertaker. He's being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. So dead man walking.
Yeah, I mean that's no surprise to anybody. All right, back on track. Back to the
All right.
back to the All Star
There,
game. It's
there is
okay.
no track, but I'll let you continue. Not today. No track today.
That is true. We are
Josh,
winging it
Josh
today.
and I are full wing, so get
Boy,
used to it.
if anyone listening thought the first two episodes had a track, this one is really going to throw you through a loop, man.
Oh no, this is a
Um,
conversation between two
now I
men.
did, I do have written down here though. I watched the game itself, which if you look back on what I said last week, I said I was only going to watch the um, the rookie competition, the 3-point, and the dunk competition. I didn't watch any of those. And last week I said I wasn't going to watch the All Star game. I watched it, of course, and it was awful. It was just Steph Curry jacking threes. I mean, it was cool. Like he hit 16 uncontested 3-point shots. Like, of course he can. He's the best shooter in history. But one thing that I love that they're doing now that I always forget that they're doing is the Elam method of scoring. Are you familiar with this?
I've never heard
So,
of that. It's the first
all
time.
right. So, in 2020, after Kobe Bryant, RIP, um, the All Star game that year, they decided to adopt the ELAM method, where they turn the clock off at a certain point and then give you a score target to hit. Right. So what this does is incentivizes or
You
de-incentivizes.
okay over there? I'm getting
Dude, this
worried about you.
the beer is really making me burpy right now. So it de-incentivizes teams from fouling at the very end of games and
Okay.
makes it much more fluent. So essentially, they turn the clock off. Well, for the All Star game, they do it in the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, and then they add 24 points to the team that's in the lead, and that's the target to hit. So 24, Kobe Bryant. So let's say
Okay.
it's right now. So it's 150 to 140, right? Going into the fourth quarter, the new target to hit is 174, and whoever hits it first, whether it's the team ahead or the team behind, they win.
Ah.
So there's no
Okay.
clock, right? And I think they should adopt it into like regular season basketball. I personally love it. The worst part about any game is at the end, where it's all timeouts and fouls and everything.
Yeah.
There's no like fouling would be stupid with this method, right? You're giving a team free points when they're already ahead of you and they have
Yeah.
a score target to hit. And if you think about it, that's how, if me and you went out and hooped tomorrow, one, it would be hilariously bad. But two, we would play something like 21, right? Or one on one, first to 11. We're not going to go, all right, set a timer. Whoever has the most points in 15 minutes wins. Like, nobody plays basketball that way outside of like the NBA and college and I guess high school.
Yeah, no, I think you have to, personally, I mean, in the regular season and in the playoffs, you got to stick with the
With the
original
clock?
format. Yeah, I know. I do like the clock. I mean, for fun, for all-star purposes, I like the the Elon Musk or whatever the fuck it's called.
The Elon Musk method.
The Elon Musk method is interesting, and it's amazing it's tied to Kobe Bryant in some way. But I didn't
Yeah.
know that was part of the reason, I suppose, that we had the high score that we did. Or do you think we would have had
Well, it
a
would
higher
have been that.
score?
It would have been roughly that high anyway. I mean, they don't play defense. They were going that high.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just like the idea of give me a scorched target to hit. That's like, to me, the truest form of basketball. And it gives a team that might be down 8 points a realistic shot. Like, I think
I agree.
the guy who made it up and proposed, I think he did like 8 points with 4 minutes left. So whatever team is leading, they kill the clock at 4 minutes, add 8 points to their total. That's the target you have to hit. So, you basically you're giving the team on the losing team 4 chances to stop them, right? They have to get 4 buckets before the game is over. And in that time, you can come back, dude, like without fucking fouling and stopping the clock every 2 seconds and
No, okay, I hear
free
you.
throws over and over. Like, some games can be so painful to watch at the very end. Give me that Elam.
Here's the problem with the
Elam.
Elam. The Elam is the problem with the Elam is if you decide to go to the Elam, moving forward, then you'd have to discount everything that's happened in the past because they were playing under different rules. Correct? I mean,
I guess so. I mean,
but then again, you can use that argument for NFL. I mean,
the
they change the rules every single year. So what the hell am I talking about? Roughing the passer wasn't a thing 30 years ago. So,
I mean, look at how much different the league is now just between when we were kids and now. Like, that's why it's hard to compare LeBron and Kobe or LeBron and Michael, because the league is so different. Like, it's less about like who's better than who. It's like, fuck, dude. If you pulled either one out and put him in the other spot, it's a totally different league. So, and yeah, however, 50 years ago they were playing without a 3-point line. So, like, leagues change. This would obviously be a huge change, but at the end of the day, you're still going to have the better teams are going to pull it out. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I learned something new. Thanks, Josh.
I was going to see if maybe that would rope you into basketball a little bit more. Maybe you'd be more interested in following.
Yeah,
but it sounds like you're just a clock guy.
I'm a clock guy.
Dead set on the clock.
The thing that gets me roped in is when I have a team to support that's playing well. I know. It's so boring, but it's true.
Well, it sucks if you're in DC because all your teams suck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Sorry.
Right now, hey, DC United start their season tomorrow. A little shout out to DC United. Amen. So here's to a winning season. I think
I'll be tuned into that one for sure.
I think it's ESPN Plus, so nobody can watch it because nobody has ESPN Plus. But I think they're going to be terrible this year. Because you can quote me on that.
Oh, are we putting it down? Bold MLS predictions like we did.
I'm writing it down right now. That's my hot take for the day.
I think we found the thumbnail, like the title for the video, like bold MLS predictions. That's how we get views. Speaking of bold predictions, I was going to make some NBA regular season predictions too, since we're on the subject.
Okay, let's do it.
If you're cool with it.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have any written down.
Oh, I got nothing written down. I'm going to do it on the fly.
Yeah, I mean these are basically on the fly right before we jumped on, but and these are less predictions, but more or less my general sense of what's going on in the league right now. Um, so the Suns, I've been on them for a long time. I was on them last year before they went to the finals. They are still, without a doubt, the best team in the NBA, bar none. Nobody's playing team ball like them. Nobody has scorers through that can score from anywhere like them. They got a big man who's reliable. They've got a true solid veteran in Chris Paul. And Devin Booker can just heat up and be as good as anybody else in the league. So the Suns
Yeah.
are without a doubt the best team in the league, and I think they'll win the title this year. They'll have to get through the Warriors with Clay back. Clay Thompson is another guy that can just catch fire. I was watching a game the other night where they were down I think they were down like 6 points with like 3 minutes left, and he
Yeah.
just started hitting threes, and no one could stop him. He was well defended, and he was just draining threes, and it was like, oh, that's right. The Warriors can just be in any game because they can drop threes just like that. So Clay Thompson is huge for them. Him being back, the Lakers are dead as I predicted. And that makes me very happy, not because I'm a LeBron hater. I actually like LeBron a lot, but I hate the super team mentality.
They got the same record as the Washington Wizards. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because they dealt their talented young guys to the Washington Wizards and decided to go for a fucking ancient team in a young league. They're just outdated. They're dinosaurs. It's not working. Westbrook was a huge mistake for them. He turns the ball over too much. He forces it. He doesn't have a good flow. Like, you need your point guards to have a good flow and a good rhythm to the game. He's just like a bull in a china shop running down the floor every play. And he'll put up crazy numbers doing that because he's a freak athlete and he outworks everybody. But I don't know. There's just there's better ways to do it. I like the Clippers as a sneaky team.
Okay.
They're getting Paul George back and Kawhi in April. They're roughly 500 without those two guys, and they play really well, man. They play good team ball. And the other team in the West I don't want to sleep on is Minnesota. Again, super young, talented team, getting their shit together. They've got a center who's winning 3-point shooting competitions. So I like Minnesota a lot. They're sneaky. They're a sneaky one. And in the East, the Sixers are better after that trade. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The Harden to 76ers, Ben Simmons to the Nets. I think the Sixers got better, and the Nets have a lot to prove.
That was an injured Harden, as I remember it. Is that right? He's on the bench.
I think he's back tonight.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah,
miraculous comeback,
dude. He knew you were sleeping on him, so he was like, "No, that's it. I'm gonna show Brandon at Brash Sports. I'm gonna come back tonight." So I think the Sixers are definitely better than the Nets. I think both teams got better, but the Nets are a fucking mess. They're the Lakers of the East. I think the Bucks are the most well-rounded and best team in the East. They'll be my bet to come out of the East. We'll have a repeat of the NBA Finals, which would be cool. I think the Celtics are the sneakiest team. They were my preseason sleeper. I bailed on them because they started sucking ass, and I went, oh, fuck, I was wrong about those guys. But they're back. They have been on an absolute tear, and I wouldn't want to play those guys. If Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart are healthy, they are fucking dangerous. And my favorite sneaky little sleeper team in the East is the Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets. Don't sleep on them. They're a very talented young team. They're fast. They can run with anybody. They can put up 150 a night. They could also put up 80. So they're one of those teams, though, that, if they catch lightning at the right time, they could be very dangerous. So there we go. There's my 2-minute rundown of my NBA regular season hot takes that I will document so we can look back on it and see how wrong I am.
I heard a lot of analysis there, but I didn't really hear any hot takes. I mean, I thought you were going to make some predictions as to who we're going to see. I mean, are you predicting a finals repeat? Was that?
I am predicting a finals repeat. That's
okay.
Kind of a hot take. I think the Lakers getting maybe not make the playoffs, but getting bounced before the playoffs. So making that little play in, like the play in game, but not winning because they'll end up having to play the right now. It's looking like the Clippers or the Timberwolves or the Blazers or the Spurs. They're not better than any of those teams for one game.
Yeah.
Like when it counts, I wouldn't bet on them. So Lakers missing the playoffs, that's roughly a hot take. I would have said that before the season and everyone would have shit their pants if we had a podcast going that long ago.
You know, it is pretty amazing. Not many people are talking about the Chicago Bulls, and they're one of the hottest teams in the league.
Dude,
nobody's taking them seriously.
DeMar DeRozan right now, DeMar DeRozan is on an amazing stretch. I think he's had like 35 points in 7 straight games, which has only been done like a couple times in NBA history. Like they are a great team. They play good defense. They've got a superstar. They've got all the things you want, man. The only reason I don't like them more to come out of the East is because it's just one of those things that takes time. You usually have to go in the playoffs with a good team, lose to another equally good team that has more experience in the playoffs, and then come back the next year. Like that's the way we're like the Bucks 2 or 3 years ago. It was like, watch out for these guys. Like they've got all the things. They've got a superstar. They play good team ball. They've got shooters. They play defense. And then they go in, they lose, come back the next year, and
I see what you're doing. So you're
I would say
you're setting it up for the Phoenix Suns to take it all the way, right? They're getting revenge. Okay,
Phoenix Suns getting revenge all the way, and then give me Chicago next year. I'm already making my
nice. Well, if that's the case, we could already make the next 3 or 4 year predictions. Put our money on it.
I'll take Bulls Jazz next year.
76ers after that.
All right, you writing this down?
Yeah, hold on.
I'm calling my bookie right now and getting that shit.
Oh man.
All right, so yeah, there you go. That's my NBA. I'm getting off my NBA soapbox. Unless you got anything else.
I like it, man. I like it.
I just love the NBA so much.
You really do. You're getting me fired up. I'm telling you, I got to do the same thing. I got to start getting involved in the NBA. I used to have a real passion for it, as I've mentioned before. But I just fell out of love with it. But
find a team that you can get behind, or find some players that you like, and just kind of follow them around and go. Like Drew Holiday is a guy that I've liked for a long time. He went to the Bucks and got a title, and I was like really happy for him. So I was like, this guy's underrated. You know, he's been getting his ass kicked by bad teams. Like he's finally doing it. So, you know, you can get fired up in that way. You're never going to love the NBA contingent on the Wizards doing well, unfortunately. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. No. Maybe you're right.
I hate to say it, but it is what it is. All right. What do you want to get into, man?
Well, I mean, I kind of wanted to touch on. I mean, it always goes back to the NFL with me.
Of course, I knew it was going to the NFL.
It's gonna go. I mean,
I like it. I like it though. I mean, dude, it's my favorite sport. I could talk about it all year round.
It's up to you. We could hop into just a couple little, loose ends NFL topics.
Ooh, give me those loose ends, baby. Let's tie them up.
Or we could talk about the impending doom of the MLB lockout. What do you say?
Well, the MLB lockout is a much bigger story. I mean, if it's not finished up by Monday, they could be missing games and shit. But I don't care about that, so let's not talk about it.
All right, moving on. We're going to go into some side notes in the stories of the NFL season.
The sport that doesn't start for 5 months.
Cue the sound, Anderson. Cue it. All right. Well, we're going to start things off. We'll just go in chronological order. Okay. We'll go with the Brian Flores. Hey, he got hired. Who saw that coming? And of course, who else than the Pittsburgh Steelers come to the rescue, leading the way when it comes to diversity in the front office of all NFL teams.
Steelers, I like it.
They hired him as a was it defensive assistant? Is offensive assistant? I'm not exactly sure what he is. But.
He's a positions coach. I can't remember what position.
Okay.
It would make sense for him to be like a linebackers coach or something.
Maybe it's linebacker. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I mean,
hats off good for him.
Hats off to the Steelers too, man. I mean,
they got the most overqualified positions coach in the entire NFL.
There you go. And hey, who knows when Mike Tomlin's ready to leave? In the next 2 to 3 years? We never know. They could have Brian Flores kind of waiting in the wings. Because I will say that. Again, when talking about the Steelers and their run with the proving how important it is to have diversity in the front office, they have Mike Tomlin as the longest tenured black head coach in NFL history, I believe. I'd have to guess. I'm trying to think of another one. I don't think Tony Dungy.
No, Tony Dungy wasn't even close.
Herm
Edwards. Herm Edwards was coaching for a while.
That's right, Herm Edwards. Man, I loved Herm Edwards. And and then of course the Rooney Rule was named after the owner of the Steelers. So they're really chipping away at it and trying to make a difference. I hate Steelers fans, but you got to respect the Steelers organization. So
totally,
hats off to them and hats off to Brian Flores for getting the job. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought he'd be blackballed just like anybody else that tries to sue their boss, but
yeah, it usually doesn't go very well.
No. And then in other news, there was a lot of noise being made regarding a quote-unquote cryptic Instagram post, Josh. Oh. Did you hear about this?
Did I ever? This was, dude, the ESPNs of the world were so happy that he sent this because it was like, yes, we have something to talk about.
There was nothing going on.
Thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for sending this weird cryptic Instagram post talking about how grateful he is for his teammates and stuff. They're like, oh, is he retiring? Oh.
He just basically, went on a rampage, loving and thanking his teammates. A big loving rampage. He was expressing his passion for all the people that he's played with, for the last few years, and
which is never a bad thing.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we kind of glanced through it, and we didn't really find it to be anything cryptic. We just thought, he was just having a bromance moment.
I'll be honest. If my first gut reaction was like, is he? I thought he was retiring. That was my initial gut reaction. Was, oh, he's retiring. This is a weird text to send. It's like it almost. This is gonna get dark, but it felt like fucking like a suicide note where it's like, I love you so much, and I, like just so grateful for everything. And you're like, why are you sending me this? Like, there was no reason for him to send that Instagram post. My theory is, he just wants attention. Nobody likes attention more than Aaron Rodgers, and I think he knew what he was doing, and he blamed it on like a juice cleanse or a fast or something. Like, what did he? I don't even know what he did, but
I think he had some coffee shoved up his ass or something. That was his 12-day cleanse,
He was just surviving on coffee enemas for exactly. 2 weeks, and he came out.
Coffee enemas, I mean, they probably they put you in weird places mentally, I mean, God knows what they do to you physically, but they just put you in a mood where you want to tell everybody, I love you.
Yeah.
So if I ever call you Josh, or I send you a very long cryptic text with a bunch of heart emojis telling you how much I love you and appreciate you, and to read a book once in a while. What the fuck is that all about? Just know it's because I am coming off of a coffee enema. So
okay, now we know. It's not a suicide note. It's a coffee enema. Oh, okay. No. I get those two things mixed up all the time.
No, my suicide note will end with rock and roll all night and party on occasion.
Wait, on occasion? Oh no!
He's
in danger. Oh my god! Sorry. Oh, Cindy is definitely going to.
That's it. I know. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. Anderson is not happy about
He's
that.
not happy.
I'm going to be
No, of
staying
course
after
not.
late tonight filling out some paperwork. That is for sure.
That's a write-up. That's a guaranteed write-up, dude.
So, I mean, hey, you say it's all about Aaron Rodgers wanting attention. I think he's just a weird guy. That's just really.
Oh, he's a total weirdo. I don't think anyone realized how much of a weirdo he was until the last couple years. And then he was in the public light more, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's just certifiably weird. And not in a bad way. It's just like those weird crunchy granola kids at school that are kind of cool, but you don't really hang out with them, and they say weird stuff, and you're like, okay, weird kid. I think he's just one of those guys. He just happens to have a rocket fucking arm.
Yeah, no, I mean, you were telling me earlier in the week that he wants to be the highest paid quarterback.
That just dropped.
I understand you right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the news just broke today.
Tell me about that.
Well, he wants a $50 million a year contract, which is higher than any quarterback in history, higher than Mahomes' deal, which was obviously the biggest deal any quarterback's ever gotten. So, I don't know. I mean, did this cryptic Instagram post lead into this? Is he getting attention just because he wanted to leverage the attention for money? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, so no. Probably not. So, I don't know. It's just, they just both happen to be Rodgers, but I don't know. The Packers aren't going to go for it. And if I were them, I wouldn't fucking go for it. Packers have never overspent on anybody, really. That's not their MO. He's wants to stay with Davante Adams. They're not going to be able to afford both of them if they pay him $50 million. I like the way Tom Brady did it, where he was like, "Hey, I don't need to be the highest paid guy on the team. Let's make some room for
rings." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, make some room for other people, and then I'll just make a fortune off the field and marry a supermodel." He had it figured out.
Well, just for fun, I mean, who do you think is the best quarterback in the NFL right now? The best.
All around best?
Yeah. If you're starting a team right now and you're picking your quarterback, you pick of the litter. Who are you taking?
It's Patrick Mahomes.
Not Daniel Jones.
It's not Daniel Jones. It's not Taylor Heineke. I know.
No Taylor Heineke. Okay. All right. I mean, Taylor, he's like number 3 on my list, I
mean, it'd be tough. It's Mahomes. It's Josh Allen. It's Aaron Rodgers is probably 3rd.
Okay, so
I would take.
You know what? Yeah, when it comes to who should be the highest paid quarterback, you kind of have to say it's Patrick Mahomes, and he is the highest paid quarterback, right? So they have it right.
Yeah, I think they have it right.
But Rodgers should be number 2 or 3.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But again, if I'm Rodgers, if I do the Brady method, which everyone knows I would do, I'm gonna take a smaller contract and bring better players in and get rings. I mean, Rodgers is staring down the end of his career. He doesn't have too many seasons left. If the Packers pay him $50 million a year, they're gonna have to let go of Davante Adams, and their team's gonna fucking suck. Their defense will still be good, but their offense is gonna be lost. Without Davante Adams.
I heard an interesting rumor that somebody tossed out there, me being a Redskins, or the team formerly known as the Redskins fan. Yep. They threw out a hypothetical: would you trade or include Chase Young in a trade if it meant you could bring in Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson?
Damn.
And it was quite the debate amongst Washington fans. I mean, again, I'm not trying to steal the conversation and bring it to, my sorry-ass team, but it is a fun thing to play around with, because my answer was hell yeah. I mean, if you're a fan that has gone your entire life never having experienced a franchise guy, absolutely. I mean, I would give him Chase Young and A lot more. I mean, you do just if you had the opportunity to land one of those guys and just be settled at that position for the next 4 to 5 years, you know.
I totally agree. There is no commodity more valuable than a good franchise quarterback right now in the NFL. It's proven. Um, teams don't make the playoffs without a solid quarterback. There's it's it's the way of the league now. You can't win on a running game and a defense. That's not how we're doing things. You need a quarterback to help you out. So
Well,
I would do it too, man. If I would pull the plug on Daniel Jones for Aaron Rodgers straight up, I would make that deal.
well, the Giants would
I
be
would.
stupid to do that. I mean, come on now.
Think about how many years Daniel Jones has left. I think that's a fair trade.
Poor Daniel Jones and Taylor Heineke.
They're going to be the butt of so many jokes.
There's a reason they don't listen to this podcast.
It's not even football season, and we're roasting them. So you just wait.
Oh my God, yeah. We haven't even gotten started.
Yeah. So, speaking of Tom Brady,
all right.
Have you seen the movie coming out with Tom Brady?
Oh yes, I'm so happy you brought this up. I did hear about this,
dude. It's called 80 for Brady.
He's directing it and starring in it.
He's I don't know if he's starring in it. He's playing himself in it. And
wait, it's in the 80s?
No, it's called 80 for Brady.
Oh, I thought it was 80s for Brady. Okay, all right, sorry.
No,
I thought that'd be pretty cool. It takes place in the 80s. And I don't know. He plays just some off character that but then somebody else plays him, and then they're on this road trip. That's what I'm envisioning. I know it makes no fucking sense,
dude. All right, here I'll give you the tagline or the here. Inspired by a true story, Brady tells of four best friends and New England Patriots fans who take a life-changing trip to the 2017 Super Bowl to see their quarterback hero, Tom Brady, play and the chaos that ensues as they navigate the wilds of the biggest sporting event in the country. Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno, Sally Fields will play the quartet.
Sally fucking Fields. I do like that.
I mean, it's just like a bunch of it's a stacked crew of just old lady actresses that were all like smoke shows back in the day too.
Oh yeah.
Dude, 80 for Brady. Give me 40 for Brady. Because I think they're talking about how they're all in their 80s. That's what 80 for Brady means. They're all in their 80s.
At least 80 years old in order to be cast in this movie if you're not Tom Brady.
Rita Moreno is definitely in her 80s. I don't think Sally Fields, Jane Fonda, or Lily Tomlin are. They're in their 60s or 70s maybe. But yeah, dude, inspired by a true story. And Tom Brady's going to play himself. He's launched a production company that is producing the film. And it's weird. That's the other note I have on this. It's weird. This is weird.
It came out of nowhere. When I heard
it came out of nowhere, and it's weird.
I had to make sure I heard it correctly the first time. Wait a second. No, I got that misconstrued in some way. There's something not right about this. But no, I'm really happy you brought that up because it's a movie I can make fun of, knowing I'm never going to watch it. Never.
We can all make fun of it, and none of us are going to watch it. It's
the only way you would find yourself. The only way you would find yourself watching this movie is if you happen to land just a smoke show Patriots fan and she wants to watch it. You're watching it. But that's the only excuse to be caught dead watching 80 for Brady.
I'm sure it'll end up on planes and stuff. And then people will watch it on a fucking airplane when
they usually have 10 movies to choose from. I'll watch the first 9 before I get to that one.
Before you get to 80 for Brady. I mean, even the name sucks. Tom, what are you doing, man? Now, do you think, because a lot of people have speculated that he's going to come out of retirement and play for the 49ers. Have you heard any of this bullshit?
Yeah, I heard it. I think it's all bullshit. Just like
it's all bullshit, right? Yeah, it's not happening.
And, I mean, again, we're in that fun part, it's the off season. So people are just looking for things to talk about, and hypotheticals are the most fun. I think for a lot of people, they can't imagine the NFL without Tom Brady. They're still trying to comprehend what's happening. So they're in their head. He had made this plan the entire time to fake retire only to come back and play for the sorry ass 49ers. Like, no, dude. If anything, if he really wanted to win another Super Bowl, he'd stick with the Bucks. You know, he had it made in the shade.
49ers are pretty
with
good.
Lemonade.
I think the 49ers are pretty good. And it's his childhood team. Like, that's what the speculation is. But you're right. Dude, as soon as that Super Bowl is over, we are just – it's two things run wild on mainstream sports media. LeBron versus Michael Jordan for some reason.
Oh, yeah, that's of course, yeah. That's a go-to.
For years it was, is Tom Brady going to retire? And now it's, is he going to unretire? It's like, dude, find something else to talk about, man. There's plenty of shit going on.
Yeah, real quick, just, we're not going to spend any time on this, but just real quick on the LeBron Jordan comparisons, just wanted to say, I think there's a lot of people, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm biased, that had kind of made up their mind what their decision was on that right when he came out of high school, LeBron.
For sure.
So, if you grew up and you wanted to be like Mike, your opinion on that isn't going to change. LeBron could win another 5 championships. I'm sorry.
And think about if you grew up in the younger generation and all you ever saw was LeBron, you'd be like, oh, there's no way anyone's better at basketball than this guy. Look at him. Look at what he's doing.
No, like, I mean, you just have people telling stories about MJ, you're like, okay.
Gather around the campfire, little one.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a tale of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls.
Then, when he came back and off the spaceship, he actually came out of retirement and won another championship. He did what, Grandpa? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. That's why I hate the debate so much. It drives me nuts, but it's like every year around this time when there's nothing else to talk about. And I think they hugged or something at the All-Star game. So it was like, oh shit, they hugged. Time to talk about who's better again. And it's like, it's such trash. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I'd take Kobe over LeBron, but I'm kind of a LeBron hater, so that's just...
Well, we also grew up with Kobe in his prime, and Kobe was so fun to watch. Kobe was just a little mini Mike. You're like, oh, cool, we've got Michael Jordan again. Like his name is Kobe Bryant. Like, oh, I loved watching Kobe play. He was so clutch. One of those guys where you're like, oh, we're down by 2 points and we got the ball. We're not losing. Like, we'll go to overtime, worst case scenario. But we're not losing this game.
I think that's, going back to the All-Star game, I think that's the last NBA All-Star game I watched that was Kobe and Michael Jordan playing against one another.
Holy shit.
When Jordan, yeah, I know. Well, I'm talking about the whole game. I'm not talking, maybe I've tuned into an NBA All-Star game since then, but, actually just watched the entire every minute. And it was fun, man. I mean, they were just going back and forth. They were the 2 highest scorers on their team. They were lethal.
They were.
Yeah.
Was that Wizards? Was that Wizards Jordan or
it was Wizards Jordan?
Wizards Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, again, when people think Michael Jordan, they think Washington Wizards. Come on.
That's true. The glory days of the Wizards.
All right. So I did want to touch on this because it's relevant right now, and it's not sports related, but of course. There's media personnel that are making it sports related. Okay. There was Alexander Ovechkin. I don't know if you hear about this. He was being hounded by reporters either earlier today
Russia.
or yes. And basically they were asking him questions like he had something to do with it. I mean, the poor guy, it's like he's a hockey player, all right? Yes, he happens to be Russian, but leave him alone. I'm sorry, but you can't go after every single Russian athlete and question them about Russia's decision to invade another country because
of course not.
And then they're expecting him to speak out against the leader of Russia, whose name will not be mentioned on this podcast. That was Anderson told me to say that. And
He's Anderson's very anti-Russia. I know
when you
that.
if you had family living in that country, you wouldn't speak out against them either. So you talk about being put on the spot. I
Yeah.
mean,
No, I don't. I didn't see that, but I'm not surprised it's happening. Like,
and
I'm sure.
and the Caps are in a slump right now too, on top of everything else. So the
Maybe
last
this
thing,
will fire him up.
yeah, well, he didn't look too good last night. They got their asses kicked by the Rangers, but hey, DC teams right back to where they belong at the bottom, getting wrapped. Even though there are one of my buddies, Daniel, is a big Caps fan. He would not like hearing me say that because, according to him, they're still 10 points up. They're still going to make the playoffs, but they've not been looking good the past month and a half. I mean, I think honestly, if I had to guess in their last 20 games, I'd have to imagine they probably won 5. So it just shows how big of a lead they had going into this slump. But it's all about how hot you are in the NBA or NHL when you're going into the playoffs.
Yeah, look at the Islanders.
You got to be fired up.
The Islanders snuck in last year, and they went on a tear. Almost made the Stanley Cup. So you never know. You heat up. Maybe this whole fucking Russia bullshit. Fire Ovechkin up. He's going to say, you're not sending me back there. I'm here, damn it. And I'm going to play my ass off.
Oh, dude, I hope you're right about that. Like now, from moving forward.
Now more than ever.
Mm-hmm, and they play the Flyers tomorrow, which, as a Caps fan, we hate Philly just in general. But actually, I love the city, but I hate all their sports teams. And, I've been to a Caps Flyers game, and that's one of our top rivals. So what better way to get a hot streak kick started than against the Philadelphia Flyers? Go Ovechkin, go Caps, go Ukraine. I said it.
Yes, for sure. More than anything, go Ukraine. I know. Oh no, we're losing Putin as a sponsor. He's dropping us. Oh, that sucks. Well, I did see the EPL pulled something out of Moscow, right? Or was it the EPL was it the
UEFA Champions League final, which is a big deal,
huge deal,
and that brings in a shit ton of money, a shit ton of tourists, and they completely botched it. I mean, well, not they, he whose name will not be mentioned on this podcast.
I just said his name like 2 seconds ago. So.
Damn it, Josh!
I'm sorry. He was a big sponsor of ours.
And Anderson wants to have a talk with you after the show.
Yeah, it's fine. Cindy already sent me an email. She wants to see me.
Damn
too.
it!
I'm just going to make the rounds through corporate headquarters.
I hope we can make it to episode 4. Now I'm getting concerned. I mean, how many write-ups can we get?
Honestly, I'm shocked we got to 3.
So yes, the UEFA Champions League, it's a big fucking game. And on top, and they moved it to Paris. Why not? It's the French. You play it safe. You go to France, but the City's going to win the Champions League this year. You heard it here. That's my bold prediction. So I'm going to be watching it, but I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. And it's not just going to be sports related, obviously, but think about how many national events are held in St. Petersburg or Moscow, and I mean they're going to lose all that shit, over Ukraine.
I don't understand it. I'm
man.
Like, that is not my area of expertise. Diving into that, global politics in general.
No, we're not. We're not getting started in global.
We're not
politics.
getting started, but yeah, it doesn't really seem worth it. I don't know what the motives are, but fuck them. You heard it here first. Fuck them.
Now that you got me talking about soccer, might as well mention.
Yeah, let's dive in. I want to talk about the EPL because it's something that I know you're passionate about. I don't follow. I don't really have a rooting interest. I don't care too much. So, what's going on? Is the season over? Is it close to over? Who's winning?
No, the
What?
season does not end until mid to late May. I believe this
Okay.
season it's later in May, like May 20th or something like that.
Okay.
But basically, it's come down to a two-team race. It is Manchester City Football Club, the best team in the land and all the world, and then there's Liverpool. I mean, I guess everybody's heard about this little team called Liverpool.
Well,
Uh,
all right. Can I
the
stop
city,
you real quick? Liverpool, when I was a kid and I played soccer, I wanted to fit in with the kids on my soccer team that followed EPL. So I kind of pretended to be a Liverpool fan because I liked the Beatles. And I think that Liverpool was
it's
good at
fair.
the time.
All right.
So, well, let's just pretend that they're my team still. And I'm a Liverpool fan.
That's
Just
fine.
for drama, just for a little extra drama.
Well, no, I would love that if that were the case, honestly, because right now City is holding a 3-point lead. That is off of what was a 9-point lead not too
Ooh,
long ago, about a month ago. So, the City
you guys are
has,
blowing it.
no, they're not blowing it. They've just, they honestly, they've had their first loss in, I believe it was 3 months, 3.5 months, this past Saturday. So, they're really not. It's just, you slip up, and if you get the difference between a draw and a win is a big deal, man. Then you're dropping 2 points. So they've had a couple of those slip ups, and then of course the loss against Tottenham put Liverpool right back in the race. But in the end, it makes it more exciting. I mean, of course, I would want them just to run away with it and just have that 13-point lead going into April, but. That's just not the way it goes, especially in the English Premier League, which is the best football league in the world. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I guess you could throw the MLS in there,
That would have been my guess. I don't know any better.
but
Well,
no.
I know Bundesliga
Well, yeah. I mean,
and
I I
what's the one
don't.
in Spain? I
That's
know
La
that one.
Liga.
La
That's La
Liga.
Liga. Yes, and
Yeah,
then
that's an easy one to remember. I don't know how I forgot that one.
yeah, no, and it's funny what used to be so enticing about the English Premier League is that it was kind of any given season. You never knew who was going to be holding the trophy at the end of the year because there was like a 5-16 race. Whereas in La Liga, you had Barcelona, Real Madrid. In Bundesliga, you got Bayern, and that's it. I mean, things are starting to change a little bit. Bayern's, tearing it up this year, but and then in League One in France, I mean, you got Paris Saint Germain, and then everybody else. So it was always it made it more exciting for everybody to watch the Premier League because again, even the richest club in the world could lose to the shittiest team in the league, which I think that almost happened this year. But right now, people are getting worried that it might become a two-team league with City and Liverpool because they are just kind of in a league of their own.
Oh,
And of course, if my
well,
team weren't part of that equation, I would have a big problem with
right.
that. But because it's one of my teams who I have been strongly supporting, as you know,
I know.
for the last 20 plus
Lifelong.
years.
When they
So
were shit,
when they
you
were the
guys
shit.
you
So,
guys still liked them.
they had just moving up into the Premier League by the time I actually went to England for the first time. So the only time, and got a little tour around the stadium. So that's when I found my love and passion back in the 2001, I believe it was, and ever since then I've been a diehard City fan, and I follow them religiously, and they are I mean really I hate to say this, but they've staken their claim as my number one professional squad that I follow
Wow.
over the team that used to be referred to as the Washington Redskins, and it's, for many obvious reasons. One wins, one doesn't. One still goes by the same name, the other one doesn't. Uh, One, the ownership you never hear from; they just make really smart business decisions. The other one doesn't. So
Well, you got that oil money too. That helps.
well, please don't get me started with the oil money.
It helps.
And well, Newcastle just got oil money too this year. I don't know if you heard about that, but
Watch out for Newcastle.
Technically, they're going to be the richest club in the world, sitting pretty at 16th place out of 20 teams in the Premier League. So, they got a lot of work to do.
They're climbing. Yeah. They're already climbing.
I always say
wonders.
You can buy great players. You cannot buy wins. You have to put them in an environment to win. You have to buy the right players that have good chemistry together. You have to you have to get the right manager who knows how to coach them up. It's not as simple as a fantasy football team. You don't just get buy the best guys and say, all right, now go win us, 15 championships in the next 17 years. So don't get me started on that oil money shit. All right.
I'm bringing it up every week.
But yes, if it weren't for the oil money, we wouldn't be the best team in the world and all that.
There it is. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Well, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to dig into it more. One of my good friends, Mike, is a huge Man U fan. So I'm interested to pick his brain a little bit from their perspective, because they're not far out of it too, right? I looked at the rankings; they're like fourth or fifth.
They're in fourth. They're in fourth place, which actually for them is pretty surprising because they were looking pretty shitty a couple months ago. But no, they've turned things around, and they have a chance to make their way into the Champions League for the second time in a row. So but United. Bunch of rags, they can go fuck themselves.
Chelsea has Pulisic, right?
Chelsea, yes, of course, the American Pulisic, yes.
Yeah.
Or Pulisic if you're Ukrainian.
Yeah, I'm doing it in solidarity with Ukraine.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I don't know. How often do you? I'm putting you on the spot. How often do you just tune in to see a Premier League game? Because they're on TV all the time.
The only times are if there's nothing else on and I notice it's on, I might flip to it for a second. Usually it's just hearing about it from friends who follow in a group chat that I'm in and seeing highlights there or scores or recaps or anything like that. But it's super rare. One morning we went up to the bar. They opened up early for us at like 8 a.m. so we could catch a big game last year. And it was awesome. And I was like, all right, I'm getting into this now. This is fun. And then I just never did. So now's the time.
Well, do me a favor.
Yes.
Hope you don't have too much on your plate tomorrow because I am going to miss the City game tomorrow. They play again. They play against Everton in the Cottage. And no, that's not their Cottage. It's Goodison Park. Excuse me. And they play at 12:30. It's likely going to be on NBC. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'd like you, Josh, to do me a favor and watch it in my absence because we need somebody there cheering them on. I don't think I've missed a game, a regular season Premier League game of Manchester City's this year. So this will be the first one, and I'm missing it because I'm helping John move. Out of all things,
John is moving.
John's moving. He's moving out. So I'm gonna be out and about early tomorrow.
Okay.
Me, Johnny, and Bill, and helping John move. So I need you there. I need you in the nosebleeds, watching the game. Even if you got it on in the background and you watch every time you see somebody scored a goal, I'll accept that as well. So
yeah, I got nothing going on. I'm just choring in the morning. So choring and whoring. That's my life. So
that's your slogan,
I'll put it on.
That's a bumper sticker on the back of your car. Choring and whoring.
So yeah, I'll throw it on in the background. I got nothing better to do.
That's
especially, right. Do you like City? The best way to get me interested in watching a game is for me to bet a couple bucks on it.
Oh, okay.
So who do we like?
Coming off of that extremely disappointing loss because it was painful to watch. They went down early against Tottenham, and then they tied it up. Tottenham score a second one. You're thinking, oh man, it's over. We get a penalty with 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left. We're thinking, okay, we salvaged a point out of this. They go right down the field in a minute and score the game winner. So that it was a dagger. So I think they're going to have a bad taste in their mouth. They're going to be pretty pissed off. I like City winning in Goodison 4-1. I'm saying 4-1.
Wow,
Josh.
4-1.
4-1.
Okay. So right now they're -2. The money line's -385. I'm sorry, the spread is -2. The money line's -385, and the over under is 3. So I should take the over, and I should take Manchester City -2.
Yeah, no, that's right. That would be it for a 4-1, right?
All right,
do it.
I'm doing it. I'm putting it in right now.
All right, $300. That's all you need.
That's all. Yeah, right, dude. That's chump change compared to what I'm usually betting. So
no ifs, ands, or nuts.
Okay. You know what, dude? Cindy has a busy enough schedule.
I know. We're in the wee hours of our podcast, so this
she knows this is when we fuck up. This is when we fuck up.
This is when things slip out, and we're gonna hear it from Cindy during the week. We're probably gonna have to watch some more of those videos that they make us watch.
I hate those so much.
We always get those emails, and you're like, "It's time to watch this bullshit."
Sensitivity training.
Oh my god! Yes, I needed to watch this to make me a better employee. I didn't know right from wrong until I started receiving those emails from HR. I had no idea.
I didn't know right from wrong.
I didn't know how much of a misogynistic, racist asshole I was until I watched those videos.
Well, now you know, buddy. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here at Brash.
I'm a good man, all right? I know who I know. I don't need some video telling me. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he pulling the plug? Is he pulling the plug?
He's pulling the plug. He says we've gone a little too far. And
that's why he's the best in the business, man.
He's looking at his phone. And he received some text messages. So.
Oh no, it's Cindy.
Hey, let's hope we're here for episode 4. We did survive a third week, so I like it.
Special thanks to Sheena Easton once again for doing the intro.
Sheena.
Big thanks to the little pocket on the front of your jeans. Couldn't be here without you guys and your support this week. Big thank you to you, my friend Brandon, and
love you, buddy. And
and Anderson, of course, the best producer in the business.
Again, Anderson, and Cindy, please, we love you. Take it easy on us.
No hard feelings, Cindy.
All right, this is it. Love you, buddy. See you next week. Go Ukraine.